Hey there folks, welcome back to another quick Pokemon video. I hate these like top 5 tips and things you should know kind of videos, so trust me when I say I actually have some worthwhile info. It's not clickbait. Today I just want to quickly go over a few things about the game without spoilers that I think you should know, so let's just get this over with. First, there's no scaling in this game at all, so while you do have the freedom to choose any of the gyms or quest lines to do whatever you want, you will steamroll everything if you don't do them in a specific order, which is fine if you want to do that. But what I really want to focus on is why you should be doing all 3 quest lines at about the same time rather than, just do one at a time. Each of the quest lines do provide rewards when you complete each step. Victory Road, the standard 8 gyms, will allow you to catch Pokemon above certain levels easier for each badge, and allow your Pokemon to obey you up to certain levels. That's normal. The Team Star quest line, Operation Starfall, rewards you with the ability to make more TMs and gives you more TM materials for each completion. And the Titan quests allow you to get upgrades for your bicycle Pokemon. So if you only do the gyms, then you won't be able to get TMs or bike upgrades to allow you to traverse more terrains and pick up items that you see along the way. If you only do the Team Star stuff, you won't be able to control your Pokemon as they level up, and it'll be harder to catch higher level Pokemon because you don't have the badges. And then of course you're also not getting your bike upgrades, so you're not going to be able to pick up items you see along the way. And if you only do the Titan quest lines, you won't have access to most of the TMs, and you won't be able to control and catch certain Pokemons of higher levels. So you really do want to space them out and do them evenly, because you're going to have to go back and do it anyway, and it's just going to be a bore if you're just steamrolling everything and you have to go back and pick items, or you have to go back and traverse all the little nooks and crannies that you couldn't before because you didn't have any of the bike upgrades. So just make sure you split up your questline progression. The next thing you should know is about the items actually. Unlike in other Pokemon games, the items and TMs here that you see in the world are not fixed items. Some of the items in towns are, but in the world they do respawn and shuffle around constantly, so there is an infinite number of items which you can get that will reward you for exploring, but I don't think you need to get every single item because it's not really necessary most of the time. All the yellow items are TMs, which you will be able to create the TM machine, and since the TMs are not infinite use anymore, you will get a lot of duplicate TMs because they're just randomly spawning and respawn all over the place. You'll pick up 14 Dragon Dance TMs and stuff. Same for the red beams, which are items like potions or sometimes held items. I think the held items might be fixed, but for the most part, they are just randomly spawning all over the place. So don't feel like you have to pick up every single beam that you see. But the point I wanted to drive home is that these are not unique set in place items that you see in other Pokemon games. They are randomly generated, so don't waste too much time trying to get every last one you see, or if you see one that you just can't get to because you don't have the bike upgrade, don't worry about it too much. You can always, find another one later. Now, another big tip is about the auto battler system that they've added here in Scarlet and Violet. So when you press R1, you can send Pokemon out to just go ham and quickly beat up everything around, which is a fast way to get XP and collect materials to make TMs. When you do this, your Pokemon's stats and skills don't really matter. All that's being checked is the level and the typing. So if you do have type advantage, you will pretty much one-tap the Pokemon and not take any damage in return, as long as you initiated combat first. So you can have a ground and rock type and go kill a poison and water type no problem, because ground crushes poison. It won't kill you so long as you initiated the fight and you have some type advantage somewhere. The auto battler system does not use your attacks either, so you can farm super fast if you use the right Pokemon and the right bunch of wild Pokemon. Knowing how the system works will help you pick the right Pokemon for the auto battler system and help you sustain those without needing to constantly heal and swap your Pokemon, because it is a lot safer than battling normally. And even though you get half XP for doing this, it's still a lot faster than battling normally anyways. So just make sure you're knowing your opponent's weakness and that you're just sending the right Pokemon into battle. Another talking point is Terrestrialized Pokemon Caves. These work just like the Dynamax caves. You can fight Terrestrialized Pokemon and either capture or kill them. If you don't want to fight the Pokemon, you can just check the cave and see what Pokemon and Terra type it has, and just doing that will give you the League points if you just want those. League points can be spent buying pretty much anything. For battling and killing these Pokemons, you do this to farm XP candies and the Terra shards to eventually change your Terra types. So not super mandatory as you're progressing through the game, but you do want to stock those up as a post-game kind of content farm. But otherwise, these are also going to work just like the Dynamax dens and spawn a semi-random Pokemon with the associated type on your map. World Terra Pokemon are the ones that are always set in stone though, you just see them out in the fields with a beam of light. All of these wild Terra Pokemon never change. They'll always be the exact same spot, same level, same type. Do that with as you will, but they're always going to be around. The last non-spoilery thing is about trainer battles. Every region has a Pokemon Center and a league guy nearby who will reward you for battling the trainers in the area. Trainers don't track you down or force you to battle in this, so you have to actually go out of your way to find them. Doing so does reward you with TMs and very useful held items, so I do highly recommend you battle all the trainers you can, as you'll often need to battle almost every single trainer in the zone to get the prize. Don't skimp out on the trainer battles, plus they also give a ton of money too, but the held items can be super important, like leftovers and stuff like that. Now, from here on, this stuff is going to be kind of post-gaming and spoilery, so you can stop here if you want. If you don't care too much, not too many spoilers, but if you don't care too much, then you can continue. So the other thing I want to point out is that you really should do the classes at school. Each of these classes will teach you some important things about the game. If you don't want spoileries, again, I highly recommend skipping this part, but if you're okay with some minor post-game spoilers, then continue. Anyway, there are 4 legendary Pokemon you can catch in the post-game content, and you'll learn about these quest lines from taking all the history classes. And if you talk to the history teacher after you finish up your final, then she will give you the location of all the gates to these Pokemons on your map, because they're not on your map normally, even if you find them yourself, but they'll allow you to fly to them instantly. And then you're just going to need to rip up all the 8 stakes for each one and fight that Pokemon. This is super easy to miss, so I do think you all should be taking these classes. You won't be able to finish the classes until you're almost done with the game anyway, but still take them when you see them. You'll see notifications like new classes are available. Do that stuff, and then you can go fight these legendary Pokemon. Now, finally, the last thing you should know is more about meta systems. First is that all the breeding stuff is done through picnics now. So you can use picnics to heal Pokemon and do the Pokemon on me thing where you like pat and wash them for some reason. But this is also where all your eggs will be produced rather than a daycare. So you'll need to set up a picnic with compatible Pokemon to get eggs that way. Also, egg moves can be passed through picnics without breeding as long as they hold a mirror herb. So if you have a Pokemon with an empty move slot and a mirror herb, and then there's another Pokemon at the picnic that has a move it can learn, it will learn it. There's also no move tutor as far as I could see. And without too many spoilers, there is a way to change the Terra type of your Pokemon with enough Terra fragments you can farm, so don't worry about that. And they did add a Hyper Trainer out in the mountains. Alright, so that's all the helpful tips I have for you all. I hope you learned something. Hopefully you didn't find it as clickbait. I really want to give you guys just a good head start for the game, just to give you some handy knowledge. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to my Patreon members. Really appreciate you guys. If anyone wants to hang out in Discord, talk shop, gaming, anything in general, feel free to join. Links in the description below. But yeah, that's all for me. Thanks, peace, good luck,